Good evening, or afternoon, or whenever it is you happen to be engaging this wonderful carol sing. We're very glad you've joined us here at the United Even Apart Church of Santa Fe. On behalf of the whole congregation and all of our wonderful musicians, I welcome you to this first time ever virtual carol sing from the sanctuary of the United Church. We're very glad you've joined us, and now I'm going to turn it over to Bradley Ellingbo, the director of our choirs here at United. Brad?
Thank you, Talitha. Yes, welcome everybody. Although we cannot be together in person and the pandemic continues to be an issue for all of us, a serious issue, nevertheless, we do want to spend some time together virtually to open up our pipes and for everyone to know we're all looking forward to that day, hopefully not too much farther into the future when we can all sing together again. Originally, this was going to be just Jackie and I and Talitha doing a little song leading, but then we thought it would be more fun to be able to sing in parts, and we hope that you will be singing in parts at home too if you feel so moved. And so let me introduce our wonderful singers tonight. First of all, we have two of our four choral scholars with us. We've got Rebecca Brunette singing alto and Jonathan Davidson singing tenor. And we're welcoming a special guest, Kathleen Rich, who's over there in her Santa hat and going to sing soprano. I'm going to sing bass, and of course, welcome to our wonderful music director, Jacqueline Helene, at the piano. Please know, we don't want you to worry about this, that masks and distancing protocols were followed throughout the making of this sing-along. And now, we're going to start with our first carol. Of course, we can't hear you at home, so you can do whatever you want. But if you were here and we were together and we were having a sing-along or going out on a caroling party, I'd say let's sing the first two stanzas of O Come All Ye Faithful in four-part harmony. And by the way, the music will now appear on your screens. You sound wonderful. Actually, we have no idea, but I bet you do. Next, we're going to sing Lo, how a Rose blooming. The text was originally in German, Es ist ein Rose entsprungen, and its author is unknown. It first appeared in print in 1599. And the tune we usually sing, and we're going to sing tonight, is by the composer Michael Praetorius and was first published in 1609. The way we'll do it now is we'll sing stanza 1 all in harmony, and then stanza 2 we'll start off with Kathleen singing the first half as a solo. So you can sing the melody along with her if you'd like, and then we'll all come in and harmonize at the words, to show God's love. And by the way, we will omit the final amen.
Lo, how a rose blooming.
That's one of my favorites. I hope it is one of yours too. Next, we're going to sing another favorite carol, Angels We Have Heard on High. Now, I've sung this my whole life, but I looked this up and I learned quite a bit about it. The tune comes from a traditional French song of unknown origin called Les Anges dans nos campagnes, and apologize for my bad French, which literally means the angels in our countryside, and that was first published in 1843. The English text is by James Chadwick, who was a Roman Catholic bishop in northeast England. Chadwick's lyrics are original in some sections, including the title, and loosely translated from the French in other sections. And his text in English dates from 1862. And I guess I thought this was a very ancient piece, but it's more close to 150 years old. In any case, it's one of our most beloved carols, and let's sing all three stanzas now in four-part harmony. Again, you sounded fantastic. Okay, way back, long time ago, like in September, when my chorus in Albuquerque called Choral Lux was planning to come together to make a recording for a virtual holiday program, I wrote a couple of easy things that I thought we could put together quickly, because I thought even then, with the coronavirus raging, we had to be pretty careful. But even that became impossible as we got into the winter months. Nonetheless, we decided to add it here, and it gives a little bit of a Spanish flavor to the City of Holy Faith. And so tonight, this is a piece for women's chorus, and Rebecca and Kathleen are going to sing it. And you can sing along the melody if you like, even if you're a bass or tenor, but John and I are going to rest during this. Here's an arrangement of A la Nanita Nana. First stanza in unison in Spanish, second in harmony in English. Lovely. We just put the baby to sleep. And along those same lines, when we have a pianist as fantastic as Dr. Jacqueline Helene, we want to make sure she had a chance to shine. And now Jackie's going to play an arrangement of Greensleeves done by John Levitt. That was gorgeous. Thank you. Talitha?
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Brad. And all of you, it's been wonderful being able to sit here and listen to you all. Thank you. Howard Thurman was a 20th century theologian, writer, civil rights activist. He was an inspiration to Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks and others in the civil rights movement. And he was also a poet. And one Advent he wrote this poem, which is also a prayer. Let us light candles this season, candles of joy despite all sadness, candles of hope where despair keeps watch, candles of courage for fears ever present, candles of peace for tempest-tossed days, candles of grace to ease heavy burdens, candles of love to inspire all our living, candles that will burn all the year long. Let us light candles this season, whether the candles of the Advent wreath or the Hanukkah menorah, or the candles of light and love offered by voices, by music. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to pick the tempo up a bit now. We're going to sing 3 stanzas of Deck the Hall. We're going to sing it in harmony, but let me just warn you that in the second verse, we'll have some solos interspersed, but you just drive on. Here we go. Great. And fast away the old year passes, it cannot go fast enough. Here's to a better 2021. The next piece we're going to do, again, comes to us from the German. Indeed, a lot of our Christmas traditions come from the far north, although I doubt that there was either a fir tree or snow on the stable when Jesus was born in Bethlehem. Nevertheless, it is a bit how we grew up and the traditions we still follow. The tune of O Tannenbaum was originally a folk song unrelated to Christmas, and even the text that we actually sing doesn't refer to the holiday at all, but rather the idea that the fir tree is always green, and green being a symbol of constancy. So we're going to sing the first stanza in parts in English. Notice that the top line goes back for a repeat. And then the second time through, I'll sing it in German. And then we'll sing the third stanza and with the bottommost text.
Christmas tree,
Schön. Beautiful in German. I'm going to take a moment now and talk about an upcoming choral festival that is jointly sponsored by the United Church of Santa Fe and my Albuquerque group, Coro Lux. This now is going into its third year, and it always is on the weekend of the Martin Luther King Jr. commemoration, and we call it Jan Fest. Now, even though we cannot be together in person this year, we decided to go ahead nonetheless, and the silver lining behind all of that is that we are now able to involve experts from around the country, and more than just one highlighting the work of one special guest. We're now going to have 3 or 4 different people presenting, and we are excited about that. The music always, as I alluded to, lifts up the tradition, the African American tradition in this country. And this year, our headliner on the musical front is Dr. Rollo Dilworth. Now, this is a name that many of you who love choral music will already know. He's one of the shining lights in choral music today. He's professor of music at Temple University in Philadelphia, and we'll be preparing 3 of his pieces. Also, we're going to have a keynote address by Dr. James Abington, whose friends know him as Jimmy. Jimmy is at the Candler School of Theology, which is located inside of Emory University in Atlanta. In addition to that, we will have Dr. Stevie Springer give us some warm-ups and some work on the gospel tradition. Stevie was our headliner last year and back by popular demand. We'll also hear from Dr. Joe Alcorn, who's a retired professor of medicine at the University of New Mexico, and he sings in Coro Lux. And Joe will give us the most up-to-date news on the COVID-19 virus and where we are in terms of being able to go back and sing together again in person. Finally, last but not least, Talitha and I are going to do a joint program on music and mental health. Because as we know, and maybe you're discovering it right now, 9 months of no singing for those of us who love to sing has been hard on us. And so we're going to talk about that and try and deal with some of those issues. For more information or to register, you can go to the website of Coro Lux, and that is ABQ Coro Lux, abqcorolux.org. And you'll find more information there. We'll also put the website address in the credits at the end of tonight's program. That's going to happen on January 16th, and it will be over the course of the whole day. But I'll tell you one more thing. I'll tell you 2 more things. It costs $37.50, and the other, which is a bargain, I think, including the music that you'll get by Rollo. But the other thing is, if you can't spend all day, or in fact, if you want to look at it the next day or the day after, that music, all of the content will be available for 2 weeks for those who have registered. So you can go to something, go away, come back, look at it later. Anyhow, we're trying to do what we can to keep our tradition alive. We hope you'll join us for Jan Fest. Okay, end of commercial. Now, Jackie is going to, speaking of African American music, she's going to play a wonderful arrangement by Mark Hayes of Go Tell It on the Mountain. Jazz hands. Jazz hands. That was fantastic. Thank you. We're going to sing Here We Come A-Caroling. We'll sing the 6/8 time, the second half, in 4 parts, but the first half in quarter, I beg your pardon. We'll sing the second half, which is in quarter notes, in 4 parts. The first half we'll sing as a solo. First we'll have John, and do whatever you want at home, but if we divide it as tenors, and then second time me, basses, and then the third time Kathleen, sopranos, last time Becky, altos, and love and joy come to you in harmony. Here we go.
So green, here we come a-wandering, so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you Lord Christmas too, and God bless you and send you a happy new year, and God send you a happy new year. We are not daily beggars that beg from door to door, but we are neighbors' children who you have seen before. Love and joy come to you, and to you Lord Christmas too, and God bless you and send you a happy new year, and God send you a happy new year. Good master and mistress, as you sit by the fire, pray think of us, poor children, who wander in the mire. Love and joy come to you, and to you Lord Christmas too, and God bless you and send you a happy new year, and God send you a happy new year. God bless the master of this house, likewise the mistress too, and all the little children that round the table go. Love and joy come to you, and to you Lord Christmas too, and God bless you and send you a happy new year, and God send you a happy new year.
We're going to ask Talitha up to talk about some things coming up in the life of the church.
Great, thank you. And thank you again for blessing us with all of your music. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time to actually hear real live music in the sanctuary after 9 months of not having that.
Speaking for us, we love it too, I think.
That's right, absolutely. So we do have some wonderful things coming up for the season of the ending of Advent and the beginning of the Christmas season. In addition to sending you this this carol sing for your listening pleasure and engagement, hopefully by the end of this week, this last week of Advent. On Sunday, we will have our Lessons and Carols service. Again, it's virtual, it will be pre-recorded, but we invite you to engage with the Lessons and Carols service. It features lots of wonderful carols, a couple anthems by Brad, wonderful piano music, and it has the theme of the singing will never stop. It's based on a poem by a poet who wrote during World War I and talks about the Christmas truce in which Silent Night brought 2 warring sides together. So we hope you'll engage the fourth Sunday of Advent Lessons and Carols. We'll also be sending out a children's video, as we have the last several Sundays, to help children also get ready for the coming of Christmas. And also starting on this coming Saturday evening, which is December 19th, between 5 and 7 for the following 2 weeks, all the way up to Saturday night, January 2nd, the church gardens and grounds will be adorned with lights. It's an opportunity for families and individuals to come in the early evening and walk around the church grounds and see the wonderful trees and the light and be out in the brisk weather and enjoy and have some kind of sense of the mystery and wonder of this season. Also on Monday night of this coming week is a phenomenon happening in the western sky just after sunset that is sometimes known as the Bethlehem Star. For the first time since 1226, the planets of Jupiter and Saturn will be closely, or at least to our eyes, will be closely aligned, and there's some speculation that that also happened 2,000 years ago, 2,020 years ago, at the time of the birth of Christ, and ended up being the Star of Bethlehem that guided the wise ones to find that child. So we were having a sort of a gathering here, socially distanced, masked, outdoors, dressed warmly. You know the protocols. But to see this once in a lifetime, actually once in several millennia, opportunity of the Star of Bethlehem. That's on Monday evening around 5 o'clock, 5 to about 6 o'clock or so. And then finally, Christmas Eve, we are having virtually again recorded services, not one but two different Christmas Eve services that we will send out to the congregation, and that will also be available on our Facebook page and also on our website, unitedchurchofsantafe.org. One service is geared toward children and the young at heart, and the other service is more the traditional service, which will feature wonderful choral music and piano and other kinds of music as well. And there's a lot of people in the congregation who actually engage both services. Normally on Christmas Eve we have a 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 11 o'clock service. We're not going to do all three, but we are going to do two. So we hope you will tune in to and share Christmas Eve with the United Church of Santa Fe. Also on Christmas Eve, again starting about 5 o'clock, probably going till about 8:30 or 9 even. In addition to the lights that we'll have around the tree, on the trees, the whole outside of the church, including the roof, is adorned with 36 dozen farolitos. So it's a wonderful way to engage the wonder and mystery of this season. Even when we can't be all together, it's a time to remember that God is still present with us with that wonderful gift of light and life and love that knows no end. So thank you again, all of you choristers and pianists, for the wonderful music of this time, and I'll turn it back over to Brad.
Thank you. You said 36 dozen farolitos. Did you mean luminarias?
We know these Albuquerqueans.
The burque, yes. Finally, a carol that needs no introduction. We'll sing two stanzas of Silent Night unaccompanied.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight. Glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born.
Thank you, Jackie. Brad, Jonathan, Rebecca, Kathleen, and Elijah, who's been running all of the video. And the singing will never stop, even this Christmas, especially this Christmas. Thank you for making all of that so. And now, my beloved friends, wherever you may be, may you go out into this world in peace. May you go out in peace and be led forth in joy. May the mountains and hills before you break into singing, and all the trees of the field clap their hands. Instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle. Instead of the thorn shall come up the new life of God's trees. And it shall be for the Lord a sign that shall never be cut off. And the singing will never stop. Thanks be to God. Amen.